Ivy Slater, and you're listening to Her Success Story Podcast, a show where gutsy businesswomen share their success journey. Hi, it's Ivy Slater. Welcome to today's episode of Her Success Story. Well, talk about guests. Today, I have the joy, the pleasure, and the honor of having Precious Williams. Precious is known as Killer Pitchmaster. Now, Precious and I met a whole bunch of years ago when our journeys were in the early stages, and they were in interesting times. You know, the value I talk a lot about of staying in relationships for the long haul brings me a whole different joy and honor and pleasure of having Precious here as a guest today on Her Success Story, sharing her journey from when we first met to what the business that she has relaunched. She's over 24 years of experience in creating unique branding, speaking, marketing techniques. She trains her clients today as sales teams in Fortune 100 companies to remain authentic, transparent when presenting through distinct audiences. She has appeared on ABC's Shark Tank. She's been written or quoted in CNN, MSNBC, Wall Street Journal, to just name a small few. Precious is a woman who's out there. She has she graduated Spelman College, and she has a degree of law from Rutgers. She is a mover and shaker now from Brooklyn, New York today, but also you try to catch her in between her flights and her travels, as she is a woman who is globally reaching and making a difference. Thanks for joining me here today.
Thanks for having me, Ivy.
So I'll always start with, I only do a small touching on truly a bio of a person, because I believe,
right.
We'll have the whole thing in the bio and the notes, but share a little bit of who you are and a little bit of the journey you've been on.
Okay. So again, I'm Precious Williams. I'm the proud founder and CEO of Perfect Pitches by Precious. And how I even came in the game, I'm a 13-time national elevator pitch champion. And as Ivy said, I've been on Shark Tank, Forbes magazine, a whole lot of other shows. A lot of things that still surprise me to this day, because I'm from the inner city of St. Louis, Missouri. And I grew up always being
told. And there is that accent.
There is an accent. There is an accent.
But when I announced you from Brooklyn, New York, and then it's like, but everybody's like, well, wait a second, I hear a Southern twang, and then you have the Missouri versus Missouri. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I'm the first person in my family to go to college. I had a full ride to Spelman, full ride to Georgetown, and a full ride to Rutgers School of Law in Newark, New Jersey. I have to smile because sometimes when you look back, you're like, I can't believe that's the goodness of God. The truth of the matter is, I didn't know that I would be a pitch master. I've been a professional speaker since I was 16 years old, and I'm proud to be 41. So that's 25 years in the making. And I started pitching when I had my first company. Thank you. 25 years is serious.
I always believe in some celebrations. Let's always stop and celebrate this stuff.
Yeah, 25 years. I think when I was 16 and someone said 25 years, I'm thinking, wow, you're old. And now I'm like, no, I'm just getting started. So I had my first company was Curvy Girls Lingerie. I was doing lingerie for full-figure divas and plus-size fashionistas way back before Lizzo, way back before Ashley Graham was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I was doing it for the millions and millions and millions of full-figure divas who had nowhere to go to put on sexy, stylish, and fashion-forward lingerie for themselves.
So and I'm going to say that's when we first connected, when you had Curvy Girl Lingerie. And definitely. I was in the early days of building Slater Success. We met somewhere in New York, out there networking, and then started staying in touch.
Yes, definitely. And relationships really do matter. And so then, I was, being a 13-time champion, getting investments in my company, being in all of these different networks and top television shows. I was in a movie called Leap with Sir Richard Branson and Jack Canfield, Chicken Soup for the Soul. Like, pitching has taken me so many places I never thought that it would take me. And then in 2016, right after I did Shark Tank season 8, great experience. I kind of lost my mind once the love of my life died, and went through some very, very hard times, lost all my money, became a severe alcoholic, became homeless, went to hell and back. And the same things that I used to climb out of poverty when I was a teenager is the same things that I used to climb out of homelessness 3 years ago.
So hold on, let's touch on this a little bit, because it's a heart-wrenching, as you're stating these things as fact, which I hugely, one of the reasons I love and respect you is you state it as fact, and it's not as like, oh my God, you state it as fact, and I've moved on. But a couple of things you just said, you use these same tools to move yourself out of poverty in your teens, that when you became homeless as an adult, you moved through it. And you're going to share a couple of these tips with us today, aren't you?
Definitely. See, I'm not here to sit and dwell on that moment, but I will tell you that I was in a program at the Bowery Mission Women's Center for a year and a half, no television, no cell phone, no computers. And I'm gonna be honest with you, what people are feeling right now, the fear and the stress and the anxiety, I remember that feeling and thinking I'll never speak again.
So Precious, you mentioned, just these things as facts. And I know you're 100% about sharing the tips and especially in a time like this, when people are seeing this as a little bit as a stress time in our lives and our businesses. You're going to share some of these tips and strategies that have navigated and influenced your life and your business.
Oh, definitely. In a time like this, what we need are people who stay positive and still have the skill set and the ability to share with people how they've been able to rise above any and all obstacles. And so I'd be delighted to share those with you. And again, I was at the Bowery Mission Women's Center for a year and a half. So when I was off of social media, no one knew where I was. I was in a program, not a rehab, but a life transformation program, where I had no computers, no cell phones, and no television. So in that time, I grew to really find out who I really was, and I'm more than my accomplishments. I am more than trying to align with this person or that person, but I really was scared that I would never be able to speak on stage, or I'd never be able to train, or I'd never be able to pitch again. And thank God that the man upstairs said, oh, it's going to happen. It's going to be bigger this time, because you're going to do it my way, not your way. Your way was for everyone else to see you. Now you're going to glorify me. And listen, and I'm no longer homeless, and I'm actually doing everything that I wanted to do the first time. Definitely.
So let's look at some of the journey and the advice as far as the tips that you could share with our audience today. There's many people out there, feeling this could have been the first time as a business leader that they've been through a shakeup. Mm-hmm. I wish it was my first. You talked about 25 years before. So I was looking at it the other day. I was talking to a client and I was like, okay, wow, 25 plus years have I been a business owner. So that brought me through being a business owner when I lost my dad, being, my husband, supporting my husband through owning and running his business when he lost his dad. Looking at it when New York City, having 2 kids in school the day, and me on my way to my office the day of 9/11, Hurricane Sandy, the 2008, 2009, issues, recession, whatever the hell this is mm-hmm. We just get handed some interruptions in our lives, in our worlds. And I always believe those interruptions are shakeups for us and choices of how we can show up and how we choose to show up.
Yes, I totally agree. And one of the things that I really look up to you for, Ivy, is yes, you have weathered many storms. And the way you've weathered it is by being the leader. And that's by leading people and not getting caught up in the everyday fear, stress, and everything like that. I'm sure you felt it, but you're like, you have people behind you who need to see that no matter what happens, you're going to stay calm, because they need to see a calm in the storm right now. And one of the things that I learned on my journey in becoming the business leader that I always wanted to be is to definitely keep it positive and to definitely stay close to your relationships. Definitely. And it's not about, trying to sell people, buy this, buy that. No, no, no. Are you calling people to check in and see if they're okay? Are you seeing what needs that they have right now? Are you just seeing how people are? Are you hitting them up on LinkedIn? Are you making the phone calls? Are you texting people that you can't get in contact with right away? How are you making sure your presence is known and that your absence is felt when you're gone? And so how are you doing that? When I reached out to you, you were so beautiful to, reach back out to me because you hadn't forgotten. You hadn't forgotten. And so you need to make sure that you stay close to your good relationships and keep positive people around you at all times. Before I became homeless, I was all about show and, oh, I did this, I did that. But I didn't really feel that on the inside. I didn't. I used to wonder, why are certain great things happening to me, but I don't feel like I deserve it. Now I look at it like I worked hard for it. I worked hard. And I wanted to have a strong support network, so I'm really there for people. Good, bad, up, down, indifferent, different, all of that. I'm really there for people. And I also show people what it really looks like to be an entrepreneur. Not every day is perfect. Not every day are you on the cover of an Entrepreneur and Fast Company. It's what you do day in and day out and stay constant. Staying constant. I have people who come to me today, Precious, you really have been constant and consistent every day. Every day you post something positive. Every day you let people know what you're doing with this person and that person. Every day you're showing that you're giving real good content and real good value and that you're not a one-trick pony. So I definitely think if you nurture your relationships, they'll nurture you in times like this.
So we both agree about the relationship piece, about I've the last period of time as we're going through this journey, the one counsel I have spoken to, not just every one of my clients, but every person I've talked to, is who are you reaching out to? Who are you connecting to? People do business. I'm telling you, this is going to be on my tombstone one day. People do business with people.
Yes.
We think they do business with companies. We do business with people. We're seeing even the big companies, their missions, their messages. We're connecting to their people. When I walk, we both travel a lot for business. I'm a Delta girl myself, and
me too.
There you go. So so we're both on those responses, those reviews that you get. Like, did the pilot say goodbye to you when you were playing?
Yes.
Yes, he did. Yes, she did. Yes, the stewardess is welcoming. Yes, we do business. I'm not. Delta, the brand didn't attract me. The people, their service, their attitude when I call, so we do business with people. And so how are we touching people?
Yes. How are we touching people? Are you giving them hope and inspiration right now in a dark, dark time? Are you calling people just to check in? Just to check in. Because sometimes that's all it takes, is just to check in. Hey, how you doing? I send brownies to my clients, and they always share, oh my God, I got brownies in the mail and I had to fight off my kids to eat them. I didn't expect that at Precious. I was like, listen, I thank you because you could have gone anywhere else, but you chose me. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that, because you can go anywhere. You can call me, and they call me. They call me, they text me, they email me, and I don't take it for granted at all, because there was a time when I had nothing, no phone calls, no emails, no texts, nowhere to go, nothing to do. And as someone who rode the subways in the cold of 2017, in February of 2017, I'm often reminded of just how cold it is outside when you're homeless, how cold it was. And how if I didn't go into the Bowery Mission Women's Center, and if I wasn't taken care of by those staff members that I still call and check in on, can I bring clothes? Can I bring food? Can I cook for the ladies? I still do that to this day, because I'm thankful that I walked out of there and I haven't been back to stay. And so that when I get these,
So how did you start as you went through that transformation, what were some of the things you did, to build a business back, to be able to
Oh,
sustain and support yourself?
it's great. I'm glad you asked that question. So, Tory Burch has the Embrace Ambition Summit, I think every year, every other year.
Yes.
So the first thing I did, honestly, is I went to the first Embrace Ambition Summit. Guess who I sat next to? The executive director, I think she's the program director for Bottomless Closet. What she didn't know at the time was that I was coming out of the Bowery mission. And so we were just talking, sitting right next to each other, told them the pitch master, whatever. She said, we would love to have someone like you come in and teach our ladies and stuff like that for interviews. And I'm sitting there like, okay, I'm not going to let her know what's going on behind the scenes. I'm going to go and take this opportunity. So I went in and I was, standing room only when I went in there to train. And then the next thing I know, she was introducing me to Viacom. What? And then I started speaking to other nonprofits, and they were introducing me to other bigger companies. Like, you need to pay her. She's good. She can train your sales team. She can do this. She can do that. And I thought, oh my goodness, I was so shocked, because I thought, I'm just trying to get back on my feet. I'm just trying to speak for free. I'm just trying to get my name out there. I'm just trying to do the best job that I can. I don't care that it's not paid for. I just need to get back out there and to build myself back up, because I had to build myself back up too. Not just for the world, but for myself to know that I still had it. And so those relationships built me up. The next thing I know, I'm speaking at the Women of Color and Capital Conference with my friend and soror, Adiola Adejobi. And when I got finished, there were Microsoft executives waiting for me when I got off the stage, Goldman Sachs, Merrill Lynch, and there's another company that I'm forgetting, and they were waiting to speak to me, to ask me to speak at their conferences and to do some corporate training. And I literally, I had to walk outside and I cried, because I said I had no idea that one engagement would have people waiting for me down when I got off the stage, ready to be. I didn't have to submit proposals. I didn't have to do any of that. It's just like, no, we want you. And I'm even getting emotional about it now, because I was stunned. I thought I had to go a certain route, because that's what everybody tells you have to do. But if you put in that good work and you volunteer your time, you never know who's watching. And because they were watching at the right moment, and I stood in my power and I stood in my zone of genius and I gave it away, they were willing to pay for it. And so that's how it all started. And I'm
going to jump in here for a second, because when people say, they ask me a similar question, and my first nonprofit that I'm still aligned to, still speak at, still show up for, is Dress for Success, along the same lines.
You know it.
And, when I started and guys, listeners, I want you to get what Precious is talking about and what I'm going to jump on with. When I started this podcast the first year in 2018, and I was first playing with the idea of doing series, and I said, let's do a nonprofit series at the end of the year. And I reached out to the CEO, and I emailed Joy Gordon, the CEO of Dress for Success, to say, hey, Joy, it's Ivy. I'm going to, blah, 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 blah. Love you to kick off the series. Would you be open to doing it? And when you get that personal email back from a CEO of a global organization who knows me, because we've sat and had coffee together back in the day. And she's like, of course. And at the end of that conversation came a paid opportunity, just what Precious is talking about. So it's not, it just happened for her, it wouldn't be about me. It's happened for both of us. And there's, there's BNI, and I'm not endorsing BNI or saying anything for it or against it, but BNI it's a matter of knowing what's out there, people. BNI has a tagline that says "Givers Gain," and there's two taglines that I think are some of the best out there. Nike that says "Just do it,"
yes,
and BNI that says "Givers Gain." Where are you showing up to give, to build your brands? This is 100% what Precious is saying, and I want you guys to capture it.
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely. And then from those relationships, asking who else do you think could utilize my services? And then I had to be proactive on my own too. Like, I would go on LinkedIn, and I'm a premium member of LinkedIn, and I would actually reach out to certain people utilizing the goodwill I already have in the community, utilizing when my book when my book came out, Bad Bitches and Power Bitches, for women entrepreneurs and speakers only, when Forbes magazine wrote about it, I sent that out to the people that I wanted to work with, as like, okay, just by the way, this just came out about me. It gave me some kind of, okay, she's not just coming to us, begging us for an opportunity. It was, okay, she's been in a lot of different things. And so she has social proof as to who she really is. And we're going to rock with that. Or I'll ask people for warm introductions to people. And that has worked wonders. Asking people for help, asking your network for help, and being very specific about the help that you need. Not just saying, oh, hey, not just, do you know someone at that company? Is there anyone at that particular company that you think that I should be talking to? Would you be willing to make that warm introduction? You already know about me, but is there anything I can send you a blurb about myself that would make it easier for you to make the warm introduction? Making it easier on the other person to help you, and being a resource when they need you to. So I wasn't just taking, I was literally giving.
So talk to me a little bit more about being a resource for others, because sometimes we get so involved with doing for ourselves that we forget how to be a resource for others.
And so one of the things that I do is, I still, give back at the Bowery Mission. I still give back to others. There are people right now who cannot, afford, my services. It doesn't mean that I still can't help you. It still doesn't mean I can't put together little videos. It doesn't mean that I still can't be on the phone with you and walk you through certain things. I don't mind, because I know it's going to come back to me. And I don't mean financially. I mean, there were so many people who helped me when I had nothing, like not a dime in my bank account. And they were willing to help me build myself up. So who am I not to do the same for others? I have a client right now. She was, scheduled to do Shark Tank, and as you can tell, they're not filming right now. So what we're doing is we're switching up. What kind of online products can we come up with? What can she be teaching? What can she be putting out there? I don't worry about these things. They always come back. And so helping people put together pitches for the things that they want to do virtually, what needs to be in their copy on their website. Like, I don't mind these things, because people helped me when I had nothing. If someone needs a warm introduction to someone, I don't mind, as long as I know you are who you say you are. Not just for everybody, but you are who you say you are. I've rocked with you before. I know who you are, and I know that this could be a great opportunity for you. So I never say, oh no, that I would never. No, it will come back. Not everybody can afford you at that time, but some people just need a little bit of help, just like I did. I think about the business coaches. Like, I remember being on the phone, just being like, I'm in a program. And they were like, what does that mean? And so I would tell them, and they would be like, you know what, Precious, you don't see the light in you right now, but I do. And so when the time comes, when you're ready, you'll pay me back. Until then, let's just work together. I was crying, because I couldn't believe people were that good to me. So why wouldn't I be good to other people? And it always comes back.
And, there's that expression that says paying it forward. What can you give forward? And in this spring, as we are living in a time of shift and change and growth, in my belief, in the long
haul,
right,
definitely,
and bringing us back a little bit into being grounded, and beliefs, and understand where creativity and innovation and what's going to blossom out of this experience. How, what is it like to share and give forward on a regular basis?
It is such an incredible experience. It's so incredible, because it's almost like when you ever look at a child and you see their aha moments, the little things that light up, light them up.
You don't have to, hold on, I have to share this. It's so fun. I love that you said this. You look at a child and you see their aha moments on their faces. I run a ton of group calls for clients, and I've been doing a lot of just community calls that people are jumping in on, to help move this universe and business and life forward right now. And I always end with, what were your biggest ahas? And the greatest thing of looking and observing children is you don't have to ask them. You just see it light up their face.
Yeah. It does. It does. But when I'm having I sent a pitch to one of my clients today, and I think she thought I was going to send it tomorrow, because I told her a week, but I sent it to her today, and she wrote back, this is amazing. Oh my God, I wasn't expecting that. And I'm like, okay, first of all, thank you for that. Thank you. That's just thank you. Thank you, because I love what I do. And I love that she gets it. Like I get her. I get what makes her unique. I get what makes her different. I get what she wants to put out in the marketplace. And she may not have had the words, but I do, because I take the time to sit with my clients. I take the time to sit with prospects. I get to hear what they're saying and what they're not saying, their fears, their worries, and their doubts. And just like, I want to see women fly beyond their wildest dreams, like your wildest dreams.
I am so with you
Because
on
I
that
get to
one.
do that.
So share a little bit, one tip you want to share with our audience today. What can they be doing?
One of the things that you can be doing right now, in addition to just calling people and just seeing how they are, one of the things that you really, really can be doing is taking this time to fundamentally think about what can you create, or what do you already do that's kind of fun, kind of funky, that you wouldn't mind sharing with other people? Something that people wouldn't even expect about you. Because some of us, this is what we do for a living. I'm a pitch master for a living. I'm a speaker for a living, but I love what I do. But there are people who create games. There are people who put puzzles together. There are people who do calligraphy. There are people and these are not everybody wants to sit and learn all day long on YouTube or something like that. Sometimes people want to do something fun and silly. Think about that guy who's a DJ, and he did a party for like 100,000 people for free on YouTube. And it made people get out of their skin. What can you be doing right now that'll put a smile on your face and somebody else's? And build around that.
I love it. What can you be doing right now that will put a smile on your face and everybody surrounding you and everybody in your world? And I think that is one of your greatest God-given gifts, is you could have the ability to bring light, smiles, and happiness to those you touch. And I thank you for that, for being in my world.
Thank you for being in mine, Ivy.
So share with our audience, how can people stay connected to you? And before you even say this, I'm going to jump in and talk over myself, and I'm cool with this. You need to be following Precious online, because she is one of the most fun women to follow, some of the most fun people to follow. Listen, I spend more of my time on LinkedIn than I do on Facebook. But when I do go on Facebook, and Precious and I are Facebook friends, you just make me smile. You do, and I love you for it.
Thank you. You're not the first person to say that to me. You know, when people describe me, they say, it's your energy. You have a different type of energy. So I just want you all, my website is www.perfectpitchesbyprecious.com. On Facebook, I am Precious Killer Pitchmaster Williams, or I'm at Perfect Pitch P. On Twitter, I'm at Perfect Pitch P. On LinkedIn, I am Precious Williams Killer Pitchmaster. And on Instagram, I'm at Perfect Pitches P. And let me just tell you, I love going live. I love just talking to people and really just going in. I love to go in. And I love to share positivity and inspiration in a dark world at times. I really do. And I love to have fun. I love to crack jokes. And so if you think all I do is just talk, I'm not a boring speaker by any stretch of the imagination. Anybody who's ever heard me speak will know they will laugh and just be like, okay, I wasn't even ready for that. You learned how to interrupt patterns. You are very, very funny. And so I want you all to know, in this moment and in this space and time that we have together, laugh, watch things that make you laugh, hang with people that have positive energy, because it's going to get us through all of this. It really is. And laughter truly is the best medicine. And again, I go hard. I go hard on social media, and you're going to laugh and you're going to have fun. You're going to learn a lot. And yeah, that's me, Precious Williams, Killer Pitchmaster.
Thank you. And for all of you who's like, oh my God, I was trying to scramble and get that all down. It's all in the show notes. Do not panic. It is just check the show notes, every link, more information on Precious. Most importantly, thank you for touching base with us today. Thank you for joining Her Success Story. I'd love for you to share your takeaways, because we couldn't see your childish face and what hit you and what resonated. Share with us also, subscribe. We come into your inbox with more great interviews like Precious's today. and just great conversation. This is what we're about, with amazing women and a few dynamic men. So thanks for joining us, listeners. Share forward. As we said, share her success story forward. Till next week.
Approval anymore, 'cause I've got mine.